South Africa versus Australia, round 2 of 2 only in this Sunfoil Test series between these two antagonists, if you like, and I don't mean that badly. The best of enemies tour, they've called it, and these two teams are just that. They play hard and they get together afterwards and chat about it over a cold one. We're at the Bidvest Wanderers Stadium in Johannesburg, 5,000 feet above sea level. It's warm, it's more than warm, it's hot. And for the 9th consecutive time, Michael Clarke has called incorrectly. He didn't change, he calls tails the whole time. The day he changes and it comes down tails, won't be a clever one for him. With me, a veteran of Australian captaincy, 93 tests, 156 test matches in all, 93 as captain, Alan Border. Wow, is Clarke having some bad luck or what?
I'll say that's quite incredible, isn't it? 9 losses in a row, calling tails. You'd reckon he's got to turn around soon, but you're right, he's just got to stick with that tails now. But look, it's a wonderful stadium, this, the Bull Ring, great atmosphere. And the South African Open batsmen are out there, Graeme Smith and Jacques Rudolph. They'll be fairly confident. So Graeme Smith coming off a very good 100 from Cape Town. Jacques Rudolph looked quite good in his performances down at Cape Town as well. So they'll be looking forward to using what looks to be a fantastic surface first up.
It is a very good looking batting surface. The groundsman, old Scotty, who's been here for what seems like 100 years, he was telling me he reckons it's a 9.5 out of 10. He says you can't give it 10 out of 10 because nobody's perfect. 9.5 out of 10 ain't bad at all. Mitchell Johnson been scrutinised quite closely over the last week as to whether he would play in this test match or not. But I guess he's somebody that one would be, as a selector, very reluctant to leave out because he is capable of doing extraordinary things. He's bowling to 3 slips and a gully, a backward point, a mid-off reasonably straight, a mid-on short leg and a deep fine leg. First ball of test number 2. Expect there to be decent carry on here. I don't think the pitch is necessarily at its quickest today, Alan. I think it might be at its quickest maybe tomorrow or Saturday. It does look a beauty to bat on.
Yeah, it's got a nice even coverage of grass. You see a few cracks there that might play a role later on this game, but right at the moment it looks a tremendous surface. But at the same time, the bowlers will think, well, look, for an hour or so we might get it our way.
To standing umpires in this test match. Ian Gould from England, standing in his 23rd test. And his compatriot at the bowler's end at the moment from New Zealand, Billy Bowden, who's standing in his 69th test match. Billy was probably busier than the on-field umpires in the first test at Cape Town with a number of reviews that were asked for.
Quite extraordinary, wasn't it? That period of play. Was there 8, 9 referrals to the DRS that Billy had to refer and go through the process? He'd probably be looking forward to just standing out in the middle and watching the contest develop from there.
I've noticed, Alan, that sometimes when, Graeme Smith's had many opening partners, Herschel Gibbs and others, and now Jacques Rudolph. I noticed that sometimes Graeme Smith takes first ball, and other times the other guy takes first ball, and I'm led to believe that what they do is they toss a coin as to who's going to, do it. Your openers, Hayden and Langer, did they have a system? Can you remember as to who's going to take the first ball?
I always thought it was Matthew Hayden liked to just take the first ball, so he took that out of the equation. But yeah, they can get a bit superstitious like that. I think I'd like to take the first ball. You'd more like to get a loosener and get off strike first up. But look, yeah, different partnerships have different methods. They just take it alternate test matches to take the strike. It's a tough job, the engine room, the top of the order.
End of the over, a maiden. The South African side unchanged from the one that won the test match in 2.5 days down in Cape Town, only 4 days ago. Something that the whole of South Africa has really been waiting for. We saw this young man making his debut today, the second youngest debutant for Australia ever, behind Ian Craig, who was only 17 years and 62 days. This lad, Pat Cummins, 18 years and 193 days. And this morning, a very special moment, Alan.
It certainly is. It's become a tradition with the Australian cricket teams in recent years. It didn't happen back in my day, to have a presentation ceremony, and congratulations all round out on the ground. Very special moment. And the butterflies will be certainly churning around right at the moment because he's been given the new ball, and he'll be bowling from the call-it drive end of this ground. First ball in Test cricket. Oh, and it's been a false start.
Well, it was nearly the first ball in Test cricket. Is there somebody wandering around in front of the side? Yeah, there you go. He's playing in his 4th first-class cricket match. I mean, it's actually extraordinary how many debutants there is in the modern game that haven't really served a first-class apprenticeship of any kind. This is a very short period of time, just 3 first-class matches. But he's impressed, and now he's out there to impress further.
Jack, as we're just sort of contemplating who's made a test debut in short amount of first-class games, I'd say that's got to be up there. Just the 3 games.
I would think so. I would think so. I've heard of sort of 6 or 7 reasonably recently, but not 3. This, you read 4 there. This is his 4th first-class match. First class being a cricket match of anything more than 3 days in duration. Smith off the mark. Very full delivery, and he's just stabbed it out back to the square.
And you look at Paddy Cummins' stats, so they don't suggest that they're not outstanding, aren't they? Just 9 wickets in the 40s, strike rate in the 90s, so nothing to write home about. It's all potential, what this young man can bring to the table in the future.
Got to ask you about, I mean, there was talk after this ball. There was talk that he might well make his debut here at the expense of perhaps even Mitchell Johnson. That name was bandied around, or maybe Peter Siddle. But Ryan Harris didn't come into that equation. He's in fact replaced Ryan Harris because he's come up crook. He's not fit. But is that something that's happening with Harris a bit too often? That he's not playing the next match after a long test match?
You're right there, Jackers. It's a real worry because he's been one of our better performers, but has trouble putting back-to-back games together.
Especially given that the game in Cape Town was only 2.5 days. He didn't exactly bowl a whole bunch of overs there. Have a look at this lad's action. Very powerful run-up. Good gather. Gets in reasonably close. Gets off the pitch nicely as well, which is all important because they can give you suddenly get warm for running on. You get your thought processes disturbed, and a beautiful presentation of the seam. Look at that.
and that action will refine itself as he gets a little bit older and more cricket under his belt.
There's a half an appeal here. I thought I heard two noises. It might have just been a little inside edge. Appeal getting stifled. Nothing much from behind the wicket.
Good seam, and yes, clearly off the inside edge onto the pad. Young man got a bit excited, as you'd expect, but nothing happening. Clearly shown off the inside edge.
There's a short leg in there. He was quite lucky that it didn't get past his thigh. And lob up as a gentle catch. 2 overs gone, 1 without loss. Now, was that a leave or was that a play and miss?
I suspect a play and miss. Very good delivery, just holding its line. And very, very close to that edge. Maybe Graeme Smith did try and pull the bat away just at the last moment.
That's a leave. And without a shadow of a doubt. They talk, Alan, about batsmen's nightmares being not quite sure of where your off stump is and therefore what you can and can't leave. Is that something that sort of happens for a spell during a career or during a season? It suddenly just, you know, you don't quite know what to do and it makes batting a lot more difficult?
It definitely happens. I don't know a player it hasn't happened to. You get leaden feet and you're not picking up the ball well. You lose your off stump. It's just all part of the downward spiral that you go through, and it can be a real battle to get yourself back. And it might be just as simple as something that you're not watching the ball. You're not watching the ball out of the hand. That's the first thing to go back to as a reference point as a batsman, in my view. And then things tend to fall into place from there.
Albeit defensively, a couple in the middle of the bat. It's always a nice feeling as well when you're starting out on an innings. You don't really want to be forced to leave 4 or 5 deliveries on the trot. If you get one that you can even just defend solidly, there you go, right in the middle of the bat. A little bit high in terms of the meat of the bat, up near the splice, but certainly dead centre. Driven well, down the ground.
That is a wonderful sign for Graeme Smith, coming off the 100 in Cape Town. Started to get his back swing back nice and straight, and that is a good example of that. Thrown up there and just really met, and nice straight bat, straight down the ground. Beautiful shot.
Feel mid-off can be a lot straighter for Graeme than the average player, because he does tend to shut the face on the bat and the ball goes very straight. I reckon that mid-off could be another 2 yards to his left. End of the over, 5 without loss. Usman Khawaja coming into the side for the injured Shaun Marsh, and Pat Cummins coming in for the injured Ryan Harris. Otherwise Australia unchanged from Newlands. South Africa unchanged altogether. That'll be 4. That's very sweet timing from Rudolph. Just beating mid-off, but no point in getting up to chase it.
Yeah, very good shot again. Rudolph will be very happy to get one out of the middle of the bat. Just absolutely perfect. Really good placement, just wide of the man at mid-off. And excellent power. And this fast outfield here, you're going to get good value for good shots like that.
4 runs. Only a couple this time.
He's just getting back to that Mitchell Johnson. He has shown some fragility at times during the Ashes series. Had a well publicised spat with his mum, and he's a wonderful young man, and he has got better, a lot stronger in his makeup. But yeah, it's not Dennis Lilly, but he has his moments. But I think he's got better at coping with the pressures and the expectations, etc.
It's an interesting subject because these guys are gladiators, if you like, and they're out on display and they're professional sportsmen and so on. It doesn't mean to say that they're any different to any of you sitting at home. And some of you cope with problems in the office better than others do, and that's precisely what happens with sportsmen as well. We've seen situations where, you know, Marcus Trescothick's Test career is over through the condition whereby he finds pressure too much and travel too much, and so that they're no different to any of you. Couple here for Smith now, so a useful over for South Africa this. Oh, it'll be 4. Goodness me. It's not the longest boundary, but it's a very quick outfield. 17 without loss. Oh, was that in the air? He's got 4 for it. We'll have to inspect this closely.
Yes, there were cries of catch it. I'd say that shortish delivery was glided wide of that man, Michael Hussey. A little bit of bounce and, yeah, clearly wide of the gully, but, well, first signs of maybe a little bit of extra bounce in this surface if you bang it in.
But it's strange, there could be a couple here. I said that last time, we went for 4. It's strange how England, for instance, don't have a great record at Lords, because I think that that reason, there's no ball signal there by Billy Bowden, is that I think touring teams, and you'll be able to help me, tend to lift their game at what is described as the home of cricket.
Very much so. It was only in recent times that, you know, from an Australian point of view, we had an incredible record there. Lost once in 100 years. You know, playing test matches there, regardless of the outcome of the series, we always did well at Lords.
Out. Caught it second slip. Johnson gets a wicket. That will do a great deal for him.
Excellent piece of bowling from Mitchell Johnson. Maybe a little bit of away movement. Graham Smith walks off as a result of this very good delivery. Just pitching and going away from the left-hander. And Michael Clarke takes a very comfortable catch at second slip. Mitchell Johnson celebrates. And just what the doctor ordered for the Australians. At the end of Graham Smith, he made 11. The score now 1 for 24.
Hashim Amla, the other centurion in the first test match down at Newlands, he makes his way to the crease. It's 4,000 runs. He went past 4,000 during that 100. Averages 47 with 19 50s, 1300s. The best of a double, 253 not out. And last year at Nagpur against India. Three slips in a gully, pretty similar field, but just the other way round for the right-handed Amla.
We have a look at why Hashim Amla's out there. A very good delivery from Mitchell Johnson. Comfortable catch for the skipper. And just a very good delivery. Nothing much Graham Smith could do about that. It did just leave him fractionally off the surface. Caught the edge, and as I said, a good piece of bowling from Mitchell Johnson. And yes, he's a confidence bowler, so that will help.
Amla off the mark. 7 overs gone, 25 for 1 now.
In the air, catch was the call, but it's raced off to the fence for 4.
Just a little bit of width offered to Jacques Rudolph, and he does like to play the ball square of the wicket on the offside. No second invitation required. Goes at it hard, that's the key.
It was hit very hard and too high for the man at Gully. No chance of a catch, really. Superb. A fantastic cover drive for 4 to follow up the cut. Takes Rudolph on to 20.
This is the exact problem that Johnson had in Cape Town, is that his lengths were too inconsistent. This time he's just a little bit full. But accolades for Jacques Rudolph. That's beautifully played. It's just timed. That's all you have to do at the Wanderers. The outfield is so true and so quick. Magnificent stroke.
Right out of the middle of the bat. Big shout from Cummins. Nothing doing from umpire Gould.
We only have to look at Jacques Kallis, Polly. That he was hauled in at a pretty young age, and I think after 6 or 8 test matches he only averaged 6. So can you imagine if those selectors had decided, well, you struggling young man, we're going to get rid of you and go to the next guy? Well, South Africa would be poorer for that.
I think they still would have got it right at some stage, because he would have got the runs that we needed. There you go, you saw that seam position again, just over to the one side, full toss, appealing. And what he would love for a little first test scalp, get him nice and settled, feel like he belongs at this level.
For him, it's all a work in progress, and you say that sometimes a bloke turns up on the test match scene and has played a few games first class wise, but it still takes the step up to then belong internationally, and you only discover what you need to do when you turn up at this level. For him, he's discovering, full stop. So all will change as he goes along. There's that canted seam you're talking about. You want it to be more upright. Good shot, just a push through the offside by Rudolph, and he'll get a couple. Add another. Good running.
He's been much better today as Jacques Rudolph in getting forward. At Newlands he got a little bit caught in the crease. He played some good shots, granted, but he just gets a little bit caught in the crease, that his right foot doesn't get past the popping crease. But today, good body position, nice and positive. Maybe, just maybe, it's because the surface in front of him is nice and brown, whereas the one at Newlands, well, it had a little tinge of green to it. And there was a little bit of seam movement, a little bit of inconsistent pace and bounce. Today he looks confident.
It's over, James. 37 for 1. Well bowled, that's very well bowled. It may well have shaped back as well. Nothing doing from the umpire, Billy Bowden, straight away. Michael Clark says, let's go upstairs.
Well, no surprising after all that happened down in Cape Town that we go to DRS again. This one has got to shape in if he wants to trap Amla LBW.
It did just a bit. It seemed to from up here. Does it pitch on line? Yes. Does it shape back enough? That's the question. Yes, it is pad first. The question, though, is does it shape back enough? Bear in mind the angle as it goes down the wicket. Is it clipping the off stump? I think it may well be. There's also a question of, there you go, pad, then bat.
Well, that's normally what makes the umpire decide to give it not out, is he hears the double noise. Has it done enough? Umpire's call.
There you go. According to Billy Bowden, when he gave it not out, he'd have been thinking of two things perhaps. Was it in line as far as pitching is concerned? And did it hit him in line? And is it going to hit the stumps? He felt not. The decision stays. Fair enough, though, from the Australians for reviewing that, because it had all the right ingredients. It seemed to shape back a bit.
Well, they'll argue that they've got it right, because there were two decisions, Mark Boucher and Michael Clark down in Cape Town. Very, very similar thing. But on those occasions, the umpire gave it out. So it stayed with the umpire, so it's out. So, I mean, the debate's going to go on forever, isn't it?
It's fair enough, though, because from a cricketing logic perspective, you can see why it's given not out. So had he given it out in this case, you'd also understand why you'd give it out. The human element you can't really get rid of. 40 for 1.
A reminder, South Africa won the toss, elected to bat. This first session is always going to be interesting.
It should be the best time to bowl on day one anyway, this first session. As the ball gets older, the pitch will get flatter and it'll become better to bat on in the second and in the third session and on day 2.
I had quite a lengthy chat to Chris Scott, the groundsman here. He's been here for 40 years, so he should know what's going on at this magnificent stadium. He was saying that, and you heard Robin Jackman say at the pitch report, that he gave it 9.5 out of 10. He was very happy with the track. Very happy with the track because it will deteriorate. He was saying that a test match track will be good, obviously on day 2, generally on its best for batting. However, I must say that he said, Kepler, this is going to be at its best, he thinks, from a pace point of view, after lunch on day 1. It won't get much quicker on day 2, so he was happy with the hardness. But he thinks the spinners will come into the game later on. The natural deterioration of the deck will no doubt cause a few issues. But he said he couldn't really be much pleaser than what, or more pleased than what is prepared for this all-important second and sadly final test.
Well, it makes sense for South Africa anyway because they 1-0 up in the series, so there's no point in taking a risk on a surface that's going to be very lively because that just brings both sides closer together and it means anything can happen. It becomes a toss-bound game then as well, so it makes sense. This pitch has definitely been prepared to enable the game to last 5 days. Now whether it will or not remains to be seen, but that was the intention, to get a result somewhere on day 5.
It's always heavily weighted, this surface, to the seamers. They are the guys that tend to do most of the damage. They've gone up for that one, and Jacques Rudolph was on his way. Billy Bowden didn't have to stick up that crooked finger. Watson again, goodness me, what a terrific job he's doing with the ball. Jacques Rudolph, who looked pretty good, nice and aggressive, is now starting that long trek back.
He played well, Jacques Rudolph. He'd be disappointed to get a start and not go on with it, but that was a good delivery, just short of a length, outside off stump, went across the left-hander. I suppose if you want to be critical, you can say that perhaps Jacques Rudolph should have got that front foot further forward, but he didn't. He's on his way for 30, 43 for 2.
One hour and 10 minutes into this test match, South Africa have now lost 2 wickets. Jacques Kallis is striding out to the centre, and just sit back and absorb those numbers. Extraordinary.
Doesn't get better than that. So that's a wonderful record. Under pressure again today, Jacques Kallis at 43 for 2. South Africa don't want to lose another wicket before this lunch break, because that'll mean that the session will belong to Australia after they lost the toss yet again.
Be handy if he could bowl a bit, of course, and just back up those numbers. Goodness me, what a player. Right, the Australians are vocal. Watson with his tail up is always dangerous. Terrific shot through the covers to get going.
He's very strong there, Jacques Kallis. Square of the wicket through the offside, and he got into excellent position.
That shot now equals Brian Lara, 4th highest scorer of all time in tests, that is. Good follow-up from Watson, and a good over. 47 for 2. I expected around about 31 degrees Celsius today. We might get the odd shower throughout this test match, thunder shower that is, late in the day, but the forecast is looking pretty good, so we should be okay. Cummins, 5 wickets, none for 9, rushed the odd batsman. Johnson and Watson, the two men that have struck at this stage. Certainly Johnson on the expensive side. But Peter Siddle's found himself a nice little groove. Unless he's bowling to Collis.
2 full. Jacques Collis won't miss out on that. That was a long half volley. Very strong through that extra cover area.
Well, you can understand why he's got this field. He is swinging the ball as Peter Siddle. He has got some catches, 3 catches in the slips and the gully as well. Inviting Collis to drive through that cover area, but his skill level's too good.
It's the last 2 overs. Siddle and Watson just lost that good length they've been bowling. Siddle in his previous over bowled too wide of off stump, and so did Watson to a degree. Prior to that, they were in that off stump channel and they looked pretty dangerous.
Just a quick look at Patrick Cummins. I witnessed something quite nice, Kepler, and I guess it will go back to some memories for you as well. He was awarded his cap. Looks like he's not far away from another spell. He was awarded his cap, I guess, about 45 minutes before play started today. He did the warm-ups in the cap. He wouldn't take it off. It was a nice little touch. I thought most guys were going to put a baseball cap on or a training cap, but there he was running around with his new baggy green on his head and wearing it nice and proudly. Good to see.
Such a treasured possession in Australia, that baggy green. That's what every young cricketer aspires for. And what a moment for him after only 3 first-class matches.
He is a very special individual too, Patrick Cummins. Enormously talented bowler, but terrifically mature. In the air, past the outstretched hand. The boundaries are not the longest in the world at the Wanderers. It's not going to reach it, due to a little bit of tag teamwork.
Just a fraction early on the shot, Jacques Collis. So unfortunately for him, it didn't go to hand. It was safe enough in the end.
Jacques Collis seems to have just done something a little bit here. He just jogged up and down the pitch, and now he's striding back to the business end. Just pulled up a little bit short. He's obviously just tweaked something, I guess.
Good delivery. It's a good shot as well, but even though it's going to the boundary, it was in the right area, that's for sure. Just swung away, just short of a length.
It's the difference these good bats make these days. This isn't that close to the middle, but it's good enough. Not that far away, I suppose. Beautifully bowled, nice back up from Siddle again. The big bat has bunted that towards the fence. Is it going to go for 4? It is. Wow. Mark that down to the willow. 14 off the over, 62 for 2. He's got that away for 4. That's going to get the butterflies flying in formation.
Excellent shot by Hashim Amla on the up. Again, showing what a good surface this is. So a good period of play for South Africa. This is an excellent stroke. Not a lot wrong with the delivery. Maybe it's a fraction wide. But that is a top stroke.
I tell you what, there's a few drives going through the covers at the moment. This is the last ball of the previous over. Just a little bunt, really, for 4.
Movement away from the right-hander. So still something there for the bowlers through the air. A little bit off the seam as well. That's what you like to see in Test cricket, a contest between bat and ball. So this surface at the moment offering something for everybody.
Not that long ago we saw Jacques Kallis just testing a muscle or two. This is what happened actually. Siddle was down and Jacques Kallis decided to join him quite briefly.
Just took a tumble, the big fella, on that greenish grass next to the pitch. It does get pretty slippery there, so hopefully no harm done.
Inviting the drive, got the drive.
Not a great delivery, too full and too wide. So Hashim Amla jumping all over that one. So runs flowing for South Africa now.
Yeah, since Jacques Kallis arrived, which is now, what, 20 minutes ago, boundaries have been coming thick and fast. 27 runs since Jacques arrived at the crease. He looked like he was lying. Let's hope this isn't any injury concern.
No, that'll be a worry. Very much part of this 4-prong seam attack, Watson. So if he gets injured, that'll be bad news for Australia.
Michael Clark trotting up. We know he had those back spasms, had a bit of a hip problem as well. Mitchell Johnson also. He doesn't look very happy, that's for sure. People have been talking about the fact that he may go down the order in the batting lineup. Personally, I think he should stay at the top because he's such an outstanding opening batsman, although he's only averaged 13 in the last 7 knocks for Australia in tests. At altitude, 6,000 feet above sea level, that can also take it out of you a bit, but surely not just 2 balls shy of 4 overs. Craig McDermott is bowling coach, watching intently. Doesn't look particularly well though, that's for sure.
He's got a couple of deliveries to get through in this over. Yeah, not much coming out now, 131 k's, so not operating at top pace.
Clark's called him again. He really has had a few problems throughout his career. Stress fractures of the back, hamstring strains, calf problems, hip complaints, dislocated shoulder. At one stage I thought he had a heart attack, which was quite severe, and that was very concerning for a lot of people. Also some food poisoning. Here's a look at the last delivery just before he's decided to take the walk to the change room. This is bad news for Australia.
Well, it certainly is. Not walking very comfortably. Bit of a limp going there, so hard to know whether it's his back or his hamstring or what the problem is.
Of course, Sean Marsh has gone back with a back problem. Replaced by Khawaja. He's a left-handed top order batsman. He'll bat at number 3. Like Husham is doing for South Africa. Mitchell Johnson's been asked to play an extra role. Just the one ball left in this over. And it's a nasty one. 70 for 2.
Driven through the gap. That'll run away for 4. Good response from Cummings. 145 Ks. Well, that'll be 4 byes. Unable to gather that in. I don't think it's hit a pad. No, it hasn't.
I think from an Australian perspective, you can understand that Cummins is going to have the odd bad delivery. He's pretty young, still new, only his 4th first-class game. So I think Haddon will be disappointed in himself. It's never easy down the leg side, and particularly at altitude, the ball tends to fly down the leg side when it is misdirected by the bowler. But he would have still thought he would have got a hand on it.
The 2 wickets that have fallen, in case you have only just tuned in. First of all, Graham Smith. Decent delivery this from Johnson. Just held its own. And the sharp catch to Clark at second slip. And then a lack of footwork, a slight lack of footwork from Rudolph there, and Watson finds the outside edge. Another 145 delivery. Another half volley.
Jacques Ellis doesn't miss out on half volleys. He must almost feel like it's a bit of a throwdown session out there for him. He's been fed half volleys all morning. There hasn't been many deliveries in the in-between area. There's been bounces and half volleys. He hasn't missed out on one half volley as yet. He's placed them perfectly as well. As we talked about, he's raced to 32.
This partnership now 45 from 43 deliveries. That might go for 4. It just might go for 4. This is so quick. Oh, well fielded. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
So 18-year-olds, quick jackers, they get around the boundary pretty quickly. Cummins doing a fantastic job there. Well, last over, but still had enough energy. Tucked off the hip here, Bumler. Very strong in that area. To the shortest part of the ground. Tongue out. Good effort.
Just like me in my heyday, Paul. Just like me in my heyday. In fact, I probably wouldn't have had to dive. No shot play. Took a blow.
You mightn't have had your tongue out, but I think you would have had to dive. Looks like it might have hit him on the arm. Oof, that could have been nasty. That missed the arm guard, got him on the elbow. We'll know about that in the morning.
Follow-up delivery in the same area. This time he punches it down.
Just think the Australians, I mean, it's not often that you criticise bowlers for bowling too full in Test cricket, because in general it's back of a length that most of them tend to concentrate on. But if you just have a look at this pitch map, you can see the wickets have come from a really good length, and the boundaries, there's been too many half volleys on offer. 9 half volleys that have been put away by the South African batsmen, and the wickets have fallen from a really good area.
Just thinking back to the successful tour of Australia when South Africa won the series, as well as Cullis played in that series, the way Johnson went about getting him out was to bowl the sort of delivery just bowled now, which was just lengthen across him. Every now and again just get it up there and a little bit wide and ask him to drive. Get him out a couple of times caught in a slip cordon. Ooh, that's out. That just looked out. Oh, Cullis says no, I'm going upstairs. Now, is he going upstairs? What do you think, Sean? Has he gone up because he's hit it, or does he think it pitched outside?
I think he's thinking that it's got a scratch, because if he was worried about the pitching outside leg stump, he might have consulted Amla first before he had a chat. But he must feel he's got a good scratch in it. No ball, that's fine. He seems quite convinced. He went up very quickly. Yeah, big edge. So Cullis is safe. He knew he had got the inside edge. That's why he indicated to Billy Bowden that he wanted to refer the decision upstairs, and a good referral.
He didn't need hotspot for that decision. He's just smashed into the bat and then into the top of the pad, and in a minute Billy will change it. The Aussies know it already.
I know a bit's been discussed about the DRS, but close of play today, if Cullis was given out for that, he would have felt disappointed. Billy Bowden would have felt disappointed that he missed the edge. The right decision's made, and the Test match continues, so I think the review system's been good.
In real time, but that celebration was short-lived. Johnson again, regroup, bowled. 91 for 2. Well, there you go. Full leg stump, smashed away through mid-wicket.
Yeah, that's the way he started to play, as I mentioned later on when I used to play with him at the end of my career. An off spinner who's just got a genuine off spinning delivery. He loves to attack now. He realizes it's an island of opportunity to get some runs on the board, and in the first day there's not going to be much assistance for him, not going to be much turn. Hits it with whatever turn there might be over the vacant mid-wicket area.
This time it's driven wider mid-on. You'll get one, or you might get two. No. Brings up the South African 100 in just the 25th over.
Have a look at the splits there, Jack. There's 43 deliveries for the second 50. Ever since Jacques Kallis has been in the crease, he really has upped the scoring rate. Over 4 and over now. Notice there, Amla turned that ball down to backward square or fine leg, and as he did it, he almost gave the impression that he had a bit of a dead arm after playing that shot. So it's obviously bothering him, that blow that he received from Mitchell Johnson on the elbow.
Big appeal, but on his own. done it again. This might go all the way, does. Billy's on his toes.
I told you he might not play for the break checkers. He's definitely going to look to attack line. They realise that they have to try and play a holding role, so they're looking to put him under pressure, maybe targeting him. Maybe it's been part of the team discussion. And Jacques Kallis is doing it very effectively, just walking across onto off stump. There's no one at deep mid-wicket, and the ball does fly in Johannesburg. He's clipped it firmly and it's gone all the way.
That's full and squeezed and pick up a boundary.
Like most of the Australian bowlers that participated in that first test match, it's the consistency that's been a problem for them. They bowl a good ball here and a good ball there, but in between, long half volleys.
It changes the dynamics dramatically for Australia. So they've got 3 seamers now instead of 4. Previously they had 3 seamers and Watson, obviously. 3 quite brisk, 2 particularly brisk, who could have bowled in short spells. Now there's a situation where these guys are going to do a holding role, because Lyon, as you quite correctly said, is untried, well, not untried I guess, but untested. And he played in 2 test matches. So there's going to be a little bit of doubt in operating him to hold up one end for a session, if you like, because that enables the seamers to rotate. So the whole dynamics for Australia have changed a lot. Rather than short bursts, aggressive bursts. Whip that away on the leg side. Cries of catch there. That's gone for 6 runs. Thin air in Johannesburg. And what a nice way to bring up the 50. A clean blow for 6. Another 50 for Jacques Kallis.
Over the last couple of seasons, South Africa have seen a very, very different Jacques Kallis to the way he's gone about constructing an innings. He obviously has a lot of belief in his middle order because he's been a lot more positive, a lot more aggressive. And this innings, well, he's been magnificent.
1 shy of 12,000 runs in Test cricket. That's well left. Beautifully bowled as well. A loud shout from Ricky Ponting at second slip.
I think Ricky Ponting probably thought he heard a noise. If it has clipped something, I was about to say it's elbow, but it would have been nothing.
Now, Siddle has found himself a nice little spot here. He knows he let the captain down and the team down when he first bowled after lunch. But he seems to be just asking the odd question now. Was the shot that brought up the 50. 2 very good deliveries after that. Can he back it up? 55 Test 50s for Kallis. Got an edge, but found the gap. He'll be disappointed, Peter Siddle. Kallis will bank it. 12,000 runs now for Jacques Kallis. 12,003 to be precise.
Peter Siddle will be a little bit disappointed that he didn't get something better, because he's found a nice length now. The South African change room and the public appreciate what Jacques Kallis has done. 12,000 test runs, absolutely magnificent. Average of 57, and what's not included is the amount of wickets and catches he's taken as well.
Cries of catch it as he bunted it to mid-wicket. Peter Siddle says politely, or not so politely, time for you to depart. And Kallis will be disappointed with that, I'm sure. He looked at the track afterwards as though it just stopped a little bit.
Looked to just working this on the leg side. It may have just held a little bit in the surface, but Kallis looks to go over mid-wicket. It's safely held. Siddle has struck. He's deserved it. He's bowled a good over to Jacques Kallis. And South Africa's premier batsman is gone for a very aggressive, played 54. And South Africa are 123 for 3.
AB de Villiers, Australia have struck. They've got a wicket inside the first half hour after the break, which would have been the team chat. 27 years of age. Hasn't had much cricket at all because of that break. Became the first bloke in the history of the game to have given out, what's the description of that? Obstructing the field? What is it? When he was, he changed direction when he's running between the stumps in a one-day game, domestic game. Only made 12 in that innings.
Callis would probably describe that as soft as far as he's concerned. He set such high standards for himself.
Khawaja in the game with the catch. Have a look at him, look at the track. Cursory glance. Wow, that's a beautiful drive. Magnificent shot from AB de Villiers.
There's just something about a cover drive that is just so beautiful. And de Villiers has got it spot on. Right off the middle of the bat.
So a couple of concerns straight away. If you look at the bowling card, Watson, not 4 overs. He's in the change room at the moment. Lyon, 1 over for 12. Jacques Kallis took a fancy to him just before the break. Siddle's going at 5. Johnson also going at 5. Cummins. Edged and caught. Ricky Ponting doesn't miss too many of those. Cummins has picked up his first wicket. Brilliant stuff from Cummins. That's a moment he's going to remember for a long, long time. 18 years of age, and he's got his first Test scalp.
On debut, he's been the pick of the bowlers. There's Cummins. It's full. Amla looks to attack. Ponting takes a fabulous catch because it really went quickly and high to him. And why should he not be happy? Amla's gone for 19. Good catch from Ponting off Cummins. South Africa 129 for 4.
Ashwell Prince has arrived in the middle, and this is a brilliant performance from Australia. They've now got 2 wickets inside the first half hour after the lunch break. He's averaged 40 in his career. He averaged 40 against India last summer, averaged 40 against Pakistan in the Middle East as well. And there's no doubt his pressure, well, we felt a little bit right now in this situation. And I think it's fair to say with JP Duminy around the place, he needs a few runs.
There was a little bit of swing there from Cummins. But I tell you what, if you want your first wicket to be caught by someone, who better than Ricky Ponting? That's a wonderful catch.
Outstanding catch. Nice visuals too of Pat Cummins enjoying his first big moment in Test cricket. Brilliant stuff from Ricky Ponting. He has a great pair of hands. It's a good catching ground, the Wanderers. The ball carries a long way in the slips, but it carries pretty quickly. The length will generally be a little bit shorter than that to Ashwell Prince. From the quicker bowlers, you can bet your bottom dollar that they've got some strategy to Prince.
Most of his success for South Africa has been when South Africa have been in a spot of bother. And let's make no bones about it, they're in a spot of bother right now at 130 for 4. Boucher in next, then the bowlers. So this needs to be a big partnership.
Now that short leg is now moved out. Where's Michael Clarke in a position here? He's going to strengthen the vultures behind. Three spaced out slips, and I mean that in the nicest possible sense. He loves the pull shot and smashed that for 4.
How to make a statement early on in your innings. It's never easy to play these strokes for the very reason that picking up length is never that easy at the start of your innings. He picks it up in a flash and absolutely middles it. I'm not sure that Cummins got everything behind that one though.
He looks in pretty good form for a bloke who hasn't batted much. No. Amazing the shots we see these days. Ultra motion camera. It's one of the greatest things I think that's been introduced into a television broadcast. Let's have a look and see how much it alters. Wow, look at that. I guess it was at 146 k's per hour. Imagine that in your ribs, HD.
I'd rather not. There's a very good reason why retirement came early for me.
Slight bit of a fumble, and AB decides to retain the strike. End of an over that Pat Cummins is going to remember forever. 135 for 4.
Well balled, well directed. Had to wear it. Nashwell Prince.
Excellent delivery this. It was pacey, very skiddy sort of delivery, and Ash Prince, only new to the crease, wears one on the shoulder, and doesn't look like it hurts, but it does. That's like Mike Tyson, big left hook in the shoulder.
Coming back into the Test match side. It's up the edge, all along the ground. Byrne will go for 4.
Yes, frustration for the bowler. Not a convincing shot, but as a batsman, you take them all. Just a thickish outside edge, and raced away, despairing dive in the gully. But it's such a fast ground, fast outfield, and it races away.
Oh! Wow! How about that? Decided to run down the wicket. The bowler saw him, dragged it a little bit, so he flat batted it through cover for 4.
It's very positive, but there's an element of luck here. He was nowhere near the pitch of the ball, and really good shot. You know, good execution at the end of the day, but high risk. But powerfully struck through that offside.
Come and enjoy some really good Test match cricket. Yeah, the news for Watson and the Aussies, and they'll know this as far as the rules are concerned. AB just clearing it up for you. It doesn't cancel out because there's a new day's play. It carries on into the new day. He has to serve the amount of time that he has been off the field.
Okay, so that's a rule I wasn't aware of. I thought it would cancel out after one day. You'd start afresh from the next day on, but yes, that's a worry for the Australians.
Shot, very good shot from Nashwell Prince. It was on the stumps, and with the angle worked it onto the onside for 4.
Super shot this. Ball's full and drifting into the left-hander, just whipped it beautifully through that mid-wicket area. Just great timing.
.150 up for South Africa with that shot. If a player is absent from the field for longer than 8 minutes, the player shall not be permitted to bowl in that innings after his return until he has been on the field for at least that length of playing time for which he was absent. Such absence or penalty time absent shall be carried over into a new day's play.
Did you say bowler though? Then is that the same with batting?
Shot again, beautiful. It'll go for 4 too.
Oh, this is good from Nashwell Prince. We thought the whack on the shoulder might spring him into action, and it certainly has. Full delivery, but you've still got to hit it out of the middle of the bat and pick the gap, which he did perfectly.
Anguish for Mitchell Johnson. I'll carry on with that rule. that law, such absence or penalty time shall be carried over into a new day's play, and in the event of a follow-on or forfeiture, this restriction will, if necessary, continue into the second innings. I'm talking fielder there. The player shall not be permitted to bat unless or until, in the aggregate, he has returned to the field or his side's innings has been in progress for at least that length of playing time for which he has been absent, or if earlier, when his side has lost 5 wickets. Shot. Some leg side play from Ashwell Prince earlier in the over. Now the offside. Superb cover drive for 4 to end the over. 160 for 4. Beautiful shot.
Great use of the feet. The long on is up, inviting the shot over the top, which AB de Villiers is quite happy to do. Great use of the feet. Absolutely perfect. Straight to the pitch of the ball. Hit with the slight spin.
Shot, sir. Beautiful. Opened the face of the blade to make sure it went offside and also to get the gap. And that he did. 4 runs. 168 for 4.
Cut away by de Villiers. 4 more.
David de Villiers will punish you every time if you bowl short and wide. So this was an excellent square cut. Got himself into good position right on top of the ball. Very good timing as well. And Siddle again just too wide of the stumps and too short as well.
Played it very late, tell by that picture there. Oh, there's 4 more, and that'll bring up the 50 partnership.
Well, less convincing than the previous boundary. That came off a thick outside edge, but David de Villiers was in control. It went along the ground. That was the main thing. Some frustration there for Peter Siddle. The first delivery was short and wide, but this one, not too much wrong with it. Coming off that outside edge.
And just 68 deliveries. There's 4 more. So 18 dot balls has now suddenly given way to 3 consecutive boundaries.
Well, this one was the least convincing. That was too wide to drive. David de Villiers got a thick outside edge to that. He was not really in control of that shot. It could have gone to gully or to third slip, but it picked the gap. Frustration there for the bowler.
Cummins. Makes a lot of sense, Sean. I mentioned this before. He's had numerous injuries, back stress fractures, hamstring strains, calf problems, hip complaints, a dislocated shoulder. Suspected heart attack at one stage that turned out to be only food poisoning, so that was an interesting original diagnosis.
I'm glad it was the latter.
Exactly. It's away nice and fine. Banks another boundary.
Yes, with his action as it is, Cummins is always going to have to fight this delivery to the right-hander, the one that just slides down the leg side. And de Villiers just getting a faint edge down the leg side and cash in on the boundary. There you can just see the push of the wrist. So we've seen a few deliveries go down the leg side and create a bit of trouble for Haddon today. There you go, just a nice inside edge. Fine leg is pretty square. So de Villiers moves on to 41.
He fancied that. Back-to-back boundaries.
Cummins taking a bit of a while to get into this spell of his. Only the third delivery. Now another boundary. Short and wide on the offside, and that is a strength of AB de Villiers. He cuts it, actually has to reach to it, but places it perfectly on this outfield. You're not going to track it down. Cummins is impressed so far, but he's going to have to get back in on the act, tighten things up if he's going to be effective.
Brings up the 200. Oh, he's gone now. Or has he? No. I thought that was a bit of bat or glove involved. Clearly not.
Yeah, that was very odd. It's obviously made contact with something. I think de Villiers' suggestion has hit his helmet.
Yeah, it might have been just on the grill of the helmet. Let's have a look. This will show us. Yep. Just the side of the grill. I actually saw an interview not so long ago from with Greg Norman, and he was saying in his playing days, obviously as a #1 golfer for a long time, he was saying that he never believed in psychologists, thought they were a complete waste of time. He looks back on it now and he wishes, gee, I wish I had one in my camp, which was he didn't have a camp, if you like. He just had his caddy, that was it. He really wishes he had a backup team to get his frame of mind right, to get his preparation right. He had the wrong impression totally about psychologists. Eased away for 4.
Streaky 4 here for de Villiers, the outside edge, but he'll take it. Only 2 slips in place, and it's found the gap between the second slip and gully. And South Africa move on to 207 for 4.
Just watch this bat turn. Shows he's got a pretty firm grip on proceedings. AB moves to 49 now. Good start from a bloke who hasn't had much cricket. Lots of nets, of course, of late, but not much time in the middle. He's going to come back for the second. That'll bring up his 50. He'll be absolutely delighted with that. He said he felt in pretty good form in Newlands in the first Test match, but wasn't there for long enough. Of course, he plays more of a leadership role these days, vice captain in the Test team and captain in the shorter format. End of the over, 209 for 4 now.
Yes, there's South Africa's scorecard, 209 for 4. Everyone's got a bit of a start. Kellis was looking in phenomenal form. Race to 54 for just 41 deliveries, and now AB de Villiers has reached his half-century.
Back to the square, we've seen that before. Another boundary to Prince.
Is Ashwell Prince strong in this area? Any width that's offered, most left-handers are pretty good on this occasion. More of an outside edge than he probably would have wanted, but he was still going to play it very square on the offside. Prince moves to 34.
A little bit quicker that time from Cummins. Short and straighter to Ashwell Prince. He seems to be not having too many problems with the short delivery since he arrived. I'm not sure they quite got in the right areas initially. But now he's off. He's away. 34 he is. And providing, in fact, they're dovetailing very nicely, these two at the moment, Prince and de Villiers.
Ashwell Prince has got a very good record of converting 50s to 100s, so I'm sure he'll be very focused on, first of all, trying to get to that half-century and then to continue his wonderful record.
His arms aren't long enough, Ashwell, to reach that one properly. We've seen quite a few examples of technology used today. DRS used well twice so far, enhanced DRS. One of the most important tools is hotspot. And you can see that that's A.B. de Villiers, by the way, from the back, and you can see that the whiter areas are the hotter areas, if you like. Straps are obviously quite hot with all the perspiring that he's doing. We're showing you a little insert about hotspot at the Tindable, which hopefully will be able to educate you a little bit more about what I think is an amazing tool.
Cummins deciding to change his angle of attack coming around the wicket. He's just been pushing the ball across the left-hander from over the pitch, over the stumps. And I think this is a very good option. If he can get the ball just to straighten at Ashwell Prince from around the wicket, I think he could have him in some trouble. Starting to show maybe signs of a little bit of cramp as well. He would have been nervous coming today. There's been a lot of energy wasted on what to expect. And there we go. It's a good delivery, starting from straight. It's the kind of delivery that Glenn McGrath used so wonderfully over the years to the left-handers. And he's got that natural ability from around the wicket just to push it across the left-hander. There you can see it just straightening up enough. Well combated by Ashwell Prince on that occasion. And there we go, once again stretching the calves. When it's your debut, you're a lot more nervous than you are normally, and spend a lot more energy. And that's probably why he's feeling a bit worse for air.
3 or 4 loud shouts of no from Prince at 213 for 4. Couple of wickets inside the first half hour. The Australians were cock a hoop when that happened. It's been a bit of a hard graft since then. Last over, this will be before the tea interval as well.
Yeah, Hayes, I think the best time for batting would probably be now, and maybe early tomorrow. So South Africa would know it would be vitally important to get a big first innings score. And a lot of it will depend now on de Villiers and Prince. Partnership of 84 so far.
Just a reminder that we finish at 6 o'clock local time. Weather is good. I don't think we're going to have too many problems with any thunderstorms, which is always a bit of a chance this time of the year in Johannesburg. We won't get the full number of overs in. We've got 37 overs to go after this one. We won't get 37 overs in that last session. Probably end up around about the 33 mark, I think, before we get to about 6 o'clock, unless Lyon bowls a great deal. Bit of extra bounce, unless he bowls the line share.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Callis took to him when he first came on. So it'll be... That might be similar when Jacques Callis got out. He looked at the pitch and as if it had stood up on him and got a bit bigger than he thought it was. Bounced. It must have been something similar like that. It almost looked like Johnson cut his fingers across it slightly. I don't know if it was intentional or not.
I think there's something we could look forward to with this pitch as this game unfolds. This is a very good test wicket. It's done a terrific job so far, the groundsman, Chris Scott, so far, and you'd expect that at this venue on day one. It'll be very good as well tomorrow. And then I think it'll start just deteriorating a little bit, which it's supposed to do. Let's not forget it's meant to do that. There'll be a bit of variable bounce. I think you'll also find that the spinners will come into play as this test unfolds. So I think we could be set up to do playing this test match on a terrific surface.
Yeah, I think Imran Tahir would have been very happy with South Africa winning the toss this morning and batting first, knowing that there's a good chance he'll be bowling in the latter part of the test match, day 4, day 5, and there'll be a little bit more assistance for him than you will receive on day 1 or 2.
Did you always call tails?
I was a heads. Malcolm Marshall always said to me, "You don't have a tail on your body? Call heads."
Do you think you should mention that to Michael Clark?
Does he call tails?
Every time. 16 he's been in charge of.
They used to have sayings like "tails never fails."
Always fails, I think, at the moment for Michael Clark. But in charge of 16 games as captain of Australia, has only won 3 tosses. It's a good over. It's a good finish to the session from Mitchell Johnson. He's got some work to do. Billy Bowden just tells us where the players are going to disappear for 20 minutes, just to put their feet up for a little bit. This session has been a very good comeback from the South Africans. A.B. de Villiers has been terrific. 10 fours in his 51. Ashwell Prince has provided terrific support as well for his 34 runs. The Australians started brilliantly. I would suggest that the South Africans will be the happier group at tea on day 1. But again, another absorbing session.
Yeah, very similar sessions. 107 in the first session of the test match. Second session, 106 for 2. And I think South Africa will be feeling a lot better after losing those quick 2 wickets after the lunch break. Callis went for 54, a sparkling 54, and Cummins dismissed Amla for his first test wicket. De Villiers standing tall, 51 of 76 deliveries, and Prince and him have put on a partnership of 85.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the third session of day 1 of this second Sunfoil Test match between South Africa and Australia. South Africa lead the series of 2, if you can call 2 a series, by 1-0.
Come on, Cliffy!
We are ready to play. 15 minutes lost to a sight screen. Ridiculous.
Well, good start, bud.
Well, before we talk cricket, I'd just like to commend you, Robin, on talking for 15 minutes about a sight screen. That is an achievement of note.
Catch it, catch it's the cry, but it's going to fall very safely. Albeit there was still a top edge there.
And Lionel certainly preferred to bowl to Prince. That we remember a few years ago, Graham Swan from England giving Ashwell Prince a very hard time, especially from this angle, from around the wicket. To A.B. de Villiers, Michael Clark's going to have to probably place an in-out field. Don't let him get too many. See if he may take a risk, take on. There is a long one going back.
Long on deep mid wicket at the 2 out with a deep backward square. He's got that fine, he'll get a couple. Deliberate, very exaggerated movement to way outside the off stump. Make sure you miss it.
Gotta go!
Square now for 1.
Right, so to Prince, Clark will attack a little bit more. A few close infielders, a few more close infielders, I should say.
Down the wicket. Oh, gee, what was he doing then? He's got away with it. That's turned a little bit. 218 for 4.
He's a little bit more comfortable against the seam, Ashwell Prince. Likes the ball coming onto the bat.
Two beautifully struck shots for nothing. Ashwell Prince, just looking at the bowlers that have dismissed him in Test cricket over the years. At the top of the list is Shane Warne, hardly surprising, he's done a few. 11 times. Dinesh Canaria 5 times. And Anil Kumble 4 times in the top 4. Harbhajan Singh is next. And then Swan and Muralidharan. So it's not a bad ploy to play the slower bowlers against Prince. Chris Gayle 3 times. Got 4 for that. Almost deserved a boundary, having struck the ball so sweetly prior. Takes the score on to 222.
Key is he hasn't tried to get the ball square, Ashwell Prince. He's tried to hit this in front of square on the offside, and he's got quite a thick outside edge. It's gone through the air, but with the partnership blossoming, Clark only has the one gully and the one slip in place. And catching on the offside at extra cover.
And 4 more. 226.
Well, this time he is lucky. It is wide, it's not a half volley. He gets a toe in and it flies through that vacant cordon. No third man.
I think that was leave aloneable. So briefly after the tea interval, just 5 minutes in fact, although it's 20 on the clock. And 4 more and brings up the 100 partnership. Not in the most convincing way. 230 for 4.
If you're the knee, Gas. Good boy.
One down the ground to Lalonde. Leaves 1 ball of the over to be faced by Prince. He'll want to run hard for this. He can get himself to 50. He does. His 11th in his career. His 2nd against Australia. 233 for 4.
It was a good innings from Prince. He came in at a difficult time. Australia had struck, they had dismissed Callis, and de Villiers was new at the wicket. So he needed to knuckle down. He does have a reputation of scoring runs when South Africa are in trouble. Johannesburg, he hasn't got a Test 100 yet. But he does have a good conversion rate altogether.
That's a top shot. Especially for a little fella. Off the back foot. Through extra.
One of the toughest shots to hit in cricket. Short from Siddle. De Villiers waits, hits it right underneath his eyes. Places it beautifully. He does have all the shots, doesn't he? Ashwell, A.B. de Villiers, I beg your pardon.
You might think he's missed out there. Put that down and through the gully area, he had 4 more. Whether Siddle Bowl getting a little bit slower seemed to confuse de Villiers. So he was very short, very wide. No, seam up, no slower ball. Between the wickets too.
Well, it wasn't a slow ball, but we saw Jacques Kallis's dismissal a little bit earlier when he looked down at the surface, and there have been 1 or 2 mishits, so you just start to wonder, is the ball starting to hold up in the surface a little bit? Is it drier than what we think? And are the spinners going to play a major role in this test match as it gets further and further into it?
This pitch has changed in nature over the years as well. I remember South Africa playing England here, and all of a sudden England were 1 for 4 or something. It was ridiculous. And also India. When you look at this surface today, you never thought for a minute it would be. Fast bowlers over the history here have taken 57 deliveries per wicket. Playing a miss. Here's the spinners, taken a lot more, 82. 238 for 4. .238 for 4 then. De Villiers 60. Prince has moved on to 50. Nathan Lyon continues.
Like it, mate. What did we say, boys?
I'm the wrong person to ask that question because there is no reason.
There you go. 1 down the ground. Oopsie. The dreaded light meter came out at the end of the last over. It's never a good sign if you're cricket watching public.
One mistake, guys. Nice shapes.
So what he's trying to do here, Lyon, is he's got the sweeper back on the offside. He wants Prince to try and knock the ball into that gap with an open face. If it turns, it can go to slip. And if it goes straight on, he can get the left-hander out, LBW. At the moment, Prince not falling for it, playing nice and straight.
Open for a bit. Scans out.
239 for 4.
Came in at a difficult time, Ashwell Prince, but he knuckled down. He was a little bit streaky at first, but the pressure was there for him. He soaked it up, played some delightful strokes in the middle of his innings. And a few peculiar ones against Peter Siddle in 1 over. But it was well played, and it was much needed from a South African point of view.
There's been something in it for everybody throughout this first day, so it's been an excellent surface for Test cricket. But just right now with the ball pretty old, it's just dying a bit from a bowling point of view. Also, the bowlers, as we mentioned, pretty tired now, so it's slanted in favour of the batsman right at this minute. And that's why AB de Villiers and Ashwell Prince need to try and be ruthless in the way they execute their plans and in their concentration. Give Australia nothing.
Bounced a bit more than he expected that. Maybe de Villiers, but did well to control it.
Just looking at this last delivery, it was a short one outside off stump, and whenever you and I are on, or quite regularly, we talk about that deep point. That bloke is there for the bad one. Now, what I want to know today is how many runs have gone through the old traditional third man position, because there's been plenty of them.
I think he was called the forgotten man by somebody. It might have been Jackers. When in one instance in Cape Town there was a third man put in place rather than that deep point, and he fielded a few.
On this ground, it's a very important position, third man, because you can also use it as an attacking position. I can remember at a crucial time in a test match against Australia, Michael Slater went on the cut and held out, caught third man. So it's both a run-saving and an attacking position. But on this surface, it's an important one.
Yeah, many will wonder why you say on this ground. Up in the Highveld here in South Africa at the Wanderers in Johannesburg, and also at Supersport Park in Centurion. The ball tends to fly further than at most other grounds, certainly more than at grounds on the coast here in South Africa. So it will carry further.
If you put that third man in, what you can do is you can keep the batsman under pressure for longer periods, because instead of getting a boundary down there, it's just the one.
It's a super partnership, this 111 now from 166. I remember a time 2008, South Africa were going particularly well in that period. Went over to Australia and won there, but they were in England and won that test series as well. Ashwell Prince and AB de Villiers at Leeds, at Headingley. Partnership of 212. Got together at 143 for 3. And they bat well together. 32 innings, 1,526 runs, an average of 52. 300s, 500s and 350s. 240 for 4. 240 for 4. South Africa won the toss and batted. And batted quite positively right from the start. Rudolph up top in partnership with Graham Smith. And then Amla and Cullis got together, certainly.
Come on, Gary!
Cullis being the aggressor there. AB de Villiers, since he's come to the wicket, has been aggressive. And Ashwell Prince too.
Good boy,
They
Gas,
transferred
good
the
boy.
pressure well onto the Australian bowlers. They never really allowed them to settle down or to form any sort of strategy or pattern. think Jacques Roux will probably be a bit disappointed. He started pretty well again today. When he was there, the ball was still decking around a bit, but effectively, I suppose, it's his third start in the series. He's normally very good at converting starts into bigger scores, but just hasn't quite happened for him. He was better today. He got to 30, so that was solid enough, but he would have liked to have gone on and got a bigger one under these circumstances.
That's a couple of deliveries in a row now where Ashwell Prince has looked for the cut. Not quite short enough for him to do so. I think it's a case of being in a positive frame of mind, looking to try and score all the time. Catches the call straight to the man. Didn't quite get under it. Didn't get under it at all. South Africa lose number 5.
Well, that's a dreadful stroke. When Ashwell Prince looks at this again, he'll be very disappointed with himself. There was no need for this. He was well in control. He just got overexcited, trying to hit it over the top. And what for? The rate is good, everything is good. He was in control, so an opportunity for him went begging. Gone for 50, 241 for 5.
South Africa 241 for 5. Now, Ashwell Prince, man to depart. A partnership that Australia needed to break. Gifted to them, one would say. And it's Mark Boucher who's come out to the middle. Been around a long time, 141 matches. More than 5,000 runs. This is why he's out there.
Well, at best, I can describe this innings by Ashwell Prince as a restless one. He played some very good shots, but also some very ordinary ones in between. It just looked like his concentration, he was battling with that. And delight for Australia. They know how important that breakthrough is.
Oh, how about that? Where's that come from? It's gone sideways a long way away from the right-hander.
It was a good one. He played it, that's for sure. Pulled the bat out after the ball had gone through. So good delivery, moved sideways off the seam. So if that was a bit further up, it would have been real trouble.
Good change of ball.
It's amazing how often that happens, isn't it?
That change of ball, change of luck, some say.
Suddenly you get a different ball and start swinging or start bouncing more. Can have a pronounced effect on the state of the match.
Yeah, what you'd have liked would have been that ball a bit fuller, actually, with it going that far sideways, and the length of the Australian fast bowlers, certainly something one would examine and say, how well have they gone? They've not quite managed to get it consistently on a length that's troubled South Africa. As a bowler, you turn up and you try and find the ideal length, and you look at that, it's perhaps on a good length or just back of a good length. That's a grouping of all the seamers today. And on a pitch such as this one, where it's going to bounce true to the batsman and they can play shots sometimes off the fuller side of that good length and play through the line, you'd want to go just a fraction back, but there's just not quite enough just back of that good length.
Well, consistency for Peter Siddle has been the problem. He's bowled some excellent deliveries, but he just hasn't strung enough of them together. So more attacking field now, third slip going into position, which is a good idea. Another wicket now, and Australia will be, I wouldn't say in a great position, but certainly in a lot better position.
Off the mark straight away. Bowling teams, after toiling for some time, love this. A new batsman comes to the crease. Renewed vigour, renewed belief. The field that was set to Boucher, 3 slips, a gully, they're in the game again. You said ruthless not too long ago.
Well, that's what Test cricket is all about.
Oh, that's gone a long way up in the air. Couple of fielders going towards it. The catch is taken. That is a fantastic catch from Patrick Cummins.
That is sensational, Patrick Cummins. There was nearly a collision. They weren't sure who was going to go for it. He called for it. I didn't back him initially to get there on time, but what a catch. Maybe de Villiers' loose pull shot. That got it right on the front end of the bat. But Patrick Cummins, what a catch under pressure. So David de Villiers, he played pretty well, but he'll be disappointed to go right now. 64 for him, 243 for 6.
243 for 6. And Vernon Philander walks out to the middle. He's played 70 first-class matches. He's got a couple of hundreds and 650s. Best of 168. And this is why he's out there.
Well, we talk about Test cricket being a patience game, but no patience there from either Ashville Prince or David de Villiers. That was a terrific catch. So back-to-back breakthroughs for Australia. They're back in this one. We've seen fortunes fluctuating throughout the day's play. So there's been action all the way. It's been a good day's cricket, but a strange day as well.
South Africa have let Australia in. They'll know that sitting in the change room, all of them at the moment, and the ones who will know it best are the two batsmen to just depart. Have put together a partnership, fantastic one, of 111 from 241 for 4. It's gone to 243 for 6, and both are back in the hutch. Look at South Africa's scorecard at 129 for 4. That didn't look too good. A partnership came together at 241 for 4. It looked much better, but now at 243 for 6. These bowlers, the Australian bowlers, will be much happier.
Well, they've got a sniff at the South African tail, that's for sure. There's one more wicket and they're into the bowlers, so that will inspire them.
The way South Africa have gone about getting their runs confirms the thoughts of Graham Smith at the toss, that it's a good deck. It looked a good deck to him. That's why he decided to bat. And the fact, though, that nobody has gone on into triple figures, having got really good starts, is going to be disturbing to that South African change room.
I'm all for a positive approach. There's nothing wrong with that. But Test matches are still about occupying the crease constructively and batting for long periods, forming partnerships that go on for a session or 2 sessions. That's what Test match batting is about.
Having to start again here, South Africa. Oh, big shout, huge shout, and the finger goes up straight away. Lyon into proceedings, and Vernon Philander's got to go.
Trying to play 2 square of the wicket on the leg side, Vernon Philander. He would have been better off looking towards Murdon, but he tried to work that through square leg, and I'm afraid that is stone dead. That would have hit middle and leg 3/4 of the way up. So Nathan Lyon, he gets a couple. Hit him in line, would have hit middle in fact, so nothing wrong with that decision. So disappointment for Vernon Philander. South Africa now 243 for 7.
Dale Steyn has walked out to the middle. 28 years old, 48 Test matches. He's got a 50 in Test match cricket, and it's against Australia. Oh, gone straight up. Has that come off the bat? No. Lots of excitement behind the stumps from the Aussies. They've got their tails up now. 243 for 7. Didn't go on. And so South Africa have their lower order into bat and looking to try and get a respectable total.
Well, 2 things with this dismissal. Vernon Philander probably should have been forward, and he should have been playing straighter. So he went back and across his stumps and looking to work that through the onside. So umpire Ian Gould in no doubt.
Looking for a few runs from Boucher and also from Steyn. Didn't refer it, Vernon Philander. We spoke at lunchtime and Jackers was on about batsmen feeling like they were out. Oh, Philander would have felt out there. And the reason he didn't refer it, or whatever it is, it was a good one. Because it's all red all over the place.
That's an easy decision if there is such a thing for the umpire. Mark Boucher's done some work with Duncan Fletcher on his batting and on his trigger movement. So he's got a 1-2 shuffle across the crease where he moves his back foot across the off stump and then slightly opens his front foot up. So Duncan Fletcher enjoys that type of trigger movement. So Boucher has been using that for the last year or so.
Yeah, a bit of a discussion between Billy Bowden and Ian Gould. It'll be about the light at the end of the previous over. Michael Clark had a bit of a chat also to Ian Gould and would have just suggested something to him. Nicely played that, well in control. Mark Boucher, and he'll get a couple of runs.
It was a relay throw, so nearly a bit of confusion there. For a moment they wanted to go for the third, but it wasn't on, so Mark Boucher played this very late. That's the secret. So that went straight down. It was good delivery. So there's a relay throw we talked about.
Oh, that's gone up in the air. Will it get there? Yes, easily. That's Boucher gone.
Well, this was another very good catch. Ball was in the air for a long time, but Nathan Lyon had to make a lot of ground to get there. Mark Boucher not in control of the hook shot. He does play it. It is one of the shots that he enjoys, but this time it came off the top edge. Went a long way in the air, hadn't pulled out, he wasn't going to get there, but an excellent catch. So Australia now right back in this test match.
So he's gone, Boucher for 3. It's 245 for 8. South Africa have capitulated to 245 for 8. The lights are on here at the Wanderers and Morne Morkel has walked out to the middle. Since tea, 32 runs, 4 wickets and 9 overs. Gone from 241 for 4 to 245 for 8.
Well, disappointing from South Africa's perspective. They're in a very good position when AB de Villiers was batting so well with Ashwell Prince. They've just lost their way in this last session.
Inside edge. 245 for 8. On day number 1, would you be happy? Bowling first, they'd have been ecstatic.
Especially after losing the toss, and that's why Morne Morkel's there. So Mark Boucher never in control of this hook shot. Morne Morkel has got some ability with the bat, and so does Dale Steyn. So can they get South Africa close to that 300 mark? This would not be the position that they want to be in after winning the toss today.
If ever he needed the tail to wag, this would be that time. And look at that shot again, but more importantly, the catch. It was a really good catch, and we were talking earlier, Kepler, but the ball carrying a long way. That's a good shot for none.
What made the catch a good one in the end was there was a bit of confusion as to who was going to try and get it, because Hatton was steaming back for it, but he couldn't get there, so he pulled out. And Nathan Lyon kept his eye on the ball and kept his composure, so that was good. Sometimes all it needs is a slight distraction if you see someone else coming for the ball as well. And that moment where you just take your eye off the ball is enough for you to drop it and not get your hands in the right position.
In outfield set for the right-hander. Just 2 off the over. 2:47 for 8. Time for a change in voice. 2:47 for 8, and it's Michael Hazeman and Alan Border.
Thanks, Pommy. Yeah, there's no doubt this is about the light. The umpires, if they're asked, and of course they would have been by Michael Clark, they would have suggested, I guess, that perhaps it needs to be a dual spin attack, because these days it's the umpires who make that call, and also it's all about danger to the players. So surely we should go on for some time yet, although they surprised me, of course, in Cape Town. They came off early on day one, which shocked a lot of us.
It's an interesting decision by Michael Clark. I commend it that he wants to get more cricket in, but could be to their advantage, I would have thought, the Australians to go off now. Finish off a good day, freshen up your bowlers, start again in the morning. 8 for 247.
It's been a warm one. That's almost snuck under the bat. Lyons picked up 2 for 39 his return. I guess Clark is just going to try and keep it as tight as he possibly can. Been a few captains for Australia in their heyday, AB, who have picked up a few wickets with a bit of left arm. Do we call it spin?
Left arm straight breaks.
What'd you get? 7 against the West Indies in one innings. Is that right? 7?
And don't forget the 4 in the second innings.
Sorry, I did. My mistake.
Yeah, they're starting to call that the miracle of Sydney.
I'm not surprised.
Well, Michael Clark's got some extraordinary bowling figures at times. I saw him get 5 for 9 in a game in Mumbai at one stage.
That's right. He's got a few cartoons on him these days, Dale Steyn. Just 1 off the over. 248 for 8. So at 4:14 p.m. South Africa were 241 for 5. In fact, let's go even to 4:09. They were 241 for 4. Seven runs for the loss of 4 wickets. That's what's really put South Africa on the back foot.
It's been an incredible day as far as the pendulum swinging to one side then the other. The Australians getting braces of wickets throughout the day. Just when you thought one team was getting on top, the other side has bounced back very quickly.
Interesting to have a look at these wickets, actually, because you'll notice as we go on there's been some soft dismissals. This is the first one to go down. This is Smith early today, and that just jagged away a fraction. Bit of movement from Johnson. That was a good delivery from Watson when he was fit. Took the edge, and Haddon took the catch. Back live now. So those 2 were okay. That happens at the start of a test match, at the start of an innings. Let's have a look at Jacques Kallis, just bunting to mid-wicket. That's got to go down as disappointing and soft. Siddle obviously thought so. That's a soft one as well. Driving wide. Cummins' first test wicket. So the first 2 are okay. The next 2 were soft dismissals. Ashwell Prince. Soft. A.B. de Villiers. Soft. Brilliant catch, mind you, by the teenager. Back live again now with Lyon. Single brings up the 250 for 8.
The fall of wickets for the South Africans on day one, and the telling stat for me was those 4 wickets in just 16 minutes of play, from 409 down to 425. It's really turned the game back, probably in the favour of the Australians. They'd be very comfortable with their day's work on what has been a very good surface.
Well, at 241 for 4, Alan, at 408 if you like. I mean, South Africa were looking at batting the rest of the day, batting for as much as tomorrow as they can. Oh, that's gone through the first slip. He swings hard, Morne Walker, when he does have a bit of a go. He's picked himself up a boundary.
Yeah, swing hard, but Shane Watson just nearly hit him in the face. Maybe he's standing too close, but he had absolutely no chance of stopping that one.
I'm with that, he's too close. At the Wanderers, you can always go back a little bit deeper. Lucky it wasn't a bit straighter. Quicker that one. We've looked at the first 6 to go down, identified the last 4 to be soft dismissals. Number 7 was Vernon Philander, absolutely plumb. And we've got 1 more to go. Mark Boucher, who needed some runs, didn't get some runs. Another soft one. Again, a good catch from Lyon. Back live now.
Good ball, Michael. This is good, Greg.
I wonder how long Michael Clarke will persist with the spin options before he says, right, well, look, we'll get the game settled one way or the other. End of the over, 8 for 254.
So they've got themselves in a bit of a spot. Everyone said, in fact, Graham Smith said at the press conference yesterday, they're expecting Australia to bounce back, to come back fighting. They've done that and done it very well this afternoon.
Well, it's been very evident that they've just kept hanging in there, the Australians, and when they've got wickets, they've got 2. 1 brings 2 is an old cricketing catchphrase, and that's exactly what's happened throughout the day.
Shane Watson, of course, who's been back on the park for some time now, will take up his normal spot at the top of the order. I presume he's going to bat at the top of the order, AB. There was a lot to talk about him sliding down.
No, that won't happen. He'll continue open in the short term. What happens going forward, that will be interesting to see. But at the moment, firmly entrenched up number 1.
So he should be. Had a bit of a lean time of it from the start of the Sri Lanka tests. He's only averaged 13 in that little time, but he's due, and he's a fine player, we know that.
He'll be up against this fella who's battling away with the bat in hand, but quality in the highest order fast bowler, and his partner in crime at the other end, trying to get a bit of a partnership going with the bat.
Might have picked himself up a boundary. He has. These two will be loving scoring runs. That's what they'll want to do. Stretch this total as long as they possibly can. Give themselves something to bowl at.
Well, this is a very good shot. Just worked the off spin. No man down there, and the pace of the outfield, as we've said all day, just flies away.
1 and 3 they are in the ICC Test bowling rankings. Steyn at 1, Morkel 3.
Oh, ball, Gaz. Nice shape there, mate.
258 for 8. So someone's got to help me out a little bit here. The umpires are chatting and it looks like they're going to continue. If the players are in any danger, that's when they're supposed to go off. AB, help me out. Spinners on. Any danger there?
Well, the danger is you might get out, but it's not because you can't see the ball. I've rabbited on about this for the last few years. I think we need to be playing cricket in dimmer light than we do at the moment. And the reason I say that is that I know in my career that I don't know how many times it happened, maybe half a dozen to 10 times, where I was offered the light at the end of the day, which used to be the case. You came off not because you couldn't see the ball, you came off because you didn't want to lose a wicket at the end of the day. So that's not the reason for the light rule, is it?
Correct. Sneaky these keepers these days. They're trying for those stompings as the foot's dragged. Out. There's a wicket. Michael Clarke, the captain, has struck. He's got into the party as well now. So 9 down. South Africa have really got themselves into a hole here. Australia will be absolutely delighted with this afternoon.
Interesting tactics from Michael Clarke. Got the edge bowling over the wicket in the previous over and decides to go round, creates more angle. No turn there for the Australian captain, but produces the edge. This time Shane Watson takes the catch in the end of Morné Morkel. He's made 6. The score now 9 for 258.
Michael Clarke's just had a little bit of a chat to the umpires, obviously just to assess what the situation is regarding the light, exactly what they're thinking. 9 down South Africa. They'd love to wrap them up. Of course, as soon as Steyn or Morkel or Philander had the ball in their hand, I'm sure the umpires would offer the light to the batsman. Imran Tahir's arrived at the crease at 32 years of age, playing in just his second Test match. And there's no doubt that the fall of Morkel's wicket, that Steyn will look to play some shots. Well pouched this time by Watson. Elementary, that one.
I was waiting for you to just go down that pathway. Michael, that's a shocker. Michael Clarke's got 4 deliveries left. He probably fancies his chances picking up 2 for not many. Imran Tahir, not a renowned number 11.
Big back left that time. Bit of a smile. Here's a look at the drop catch earlier and the catch. You can see the Watson has certainly gone back further. Just a bit of a half shot that time. Shake of the head from Clarke. With the catch, Watson had gone back at least 2 paces.
Ricky Ponting in at bat pad. That's keen at his age. Yeah, definitely Watson has moved back at least a metre. Give himself a bit more time. The ball would have carried another 2 metres or more.
He's kept it out. Done the job. Wicket maiden for the skipper. 258 for 9. South Africa's slide has been dramatic. They've lost 5 wickets for 17 runs in 9 overs. Two men back. One at long off, one at long on. Man at cow corner, also one at deep backward square.
Oh, guys, a nice shapes, mate.
cat and mouse, is it? He'd be busting, wouldn't he, to have a big mo at one.
Yeah, he's the man that's got to try and get runs. I think we can all safely say that Imran Tahir won't be able to do that. He'll have to just keep the ball out as much as he can. Obviously he's counting. There's 3 balls left in the over now. Generally they bring the field up after with 2 balls remaining. He's gone for it. Cries of catch it. Has it gone all the way? It has. Terrific blow from Dale Steyn.
Yes, it was just a matter of time before this shot was on. Dale Steyn is a powerful strike of the ball. Picked the right one and got plenty of bat on that. And in the thin atmosphere here, that has gone a long way back. Men in the deep, forget it.
Still back, by the way. They haven't come up. 1 ball to go now. I guess they will come up. Nope. Staying back. So what Steyn should be doing here is just finding a single. Down. And does that easily. 265 for 9. Lost a couple of wickets inside the first hour this morning. Hour and a bit actually did South Africa. Then they lost 2 wickets after lunch inside the first half hour, which put them on the back foot a little bit. And then a bit of a collapse. Playing under artificial light at the moment. Lights are on. It's common sense, I think, that teams have agreed to play under the lights when they can at the stadiums. That's pretty much what should be the norm, I believe, around the cricketing world. May not get the full time in, but at least you're going to get at least another 45 minutes, I guess, than you would normally get, certainly in this situation right now.
I suppose, Michael, that the issue is if there was a change of innings now, would we play cricket with fast bowlers operating?
Is this the number, AB? Number 4 of this over? Is this the one he's going to try and dip? That's how they think, isn't it, these bowlers?
That's generally the rule, but he's a bit smarter than that, I think. Maybe he doesn't fancy the left arm orthodox.
Just ease that away for 1, trust his partner. Very good 70, of course, against Australia a couple of years ago.
Yes, I think I was down there watching that particular game. They did a great job. There it is, versus Australia down in Melbourne 2008. And that basically turned the game around. Australia were cruising, and a really good partnership with JP Duminy. Just turned the game around.
Last ball, the over. Could be out. I think there was some bat there. Yep, all out. Finger went up very quickly indeed. All out for 266. Goodness me, I'm going to remind you that they were 241 for 4 at one stage, and this has been a dramatic collapse.
Let's have a look at this last dismissal. Yes, clearly off the inside edge and just lobbing up to Phil Hughes, who's in at the bat pad position. Comfortable catch, diving forward in the end. And 25 runs for 6 wickets. Quite an extraordinary end to the South African performance. Very happy Australian captain. And will we play some more cricket now?
After South Africa won the toss and elected to bat. So this is going to be quite interesting, because I don't think, I'm with you, AB, I don't think there's any way that the seam bowlers, the quick bowlers, can bowl. I'll be suggesting that Tahir might be out straight away. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see what the strategy is. Maybe South Africa will open with the quick bowlers and be content to go off the park and start tomorrow against the top order for Australia. Hughes and Watson are both under pressure. They'll want their best bowlers running in, steaming into them, and also Philander. Let's not forget his performance in the last Test match. But that's a look at what happened today. Smith won the toss, batted. He batted for 11 runs. Rudolph was quite sparkling for his 30. Umla there for some time for 19. Cullis played well for 54. De Villiers also very good for his 58. And that stand of 112 really got things back on track for South Africa. But look at the partnerships, AB, after that.
Yeah, well, that's the tale of the day. Just getting the noses in front and then losing a brace of wickets throughout the day, and then just so many wickets falling in that last hour of cricket. Brilliant partnership between De Villiers and Prince, but there were some soft dismissals from that point, and that really exposed the tail.
So if we have a look at the bowling as well from Australia, they can be pretty pleased with the performance, with Watson only bowling 3 overs and 5 deliveries. The other guys had to carry the load. Johnson, 16 overs, only picked up the 1, but tried hard. Cummins, very good in his first outing in the Test cap, 15 overs, 1 for 38. Siddle tried really hard. He was the man that really tried to step up, 3 for 69. And Lyon did a job with 2, and also the skipper Clark with 2 as well. So that's the story. South Africa in the first innings, all out for 266.
So day number 2 then, here at the Bidvest Wanderers, South Africa versus Australia, as at 10:03. That's the start rather than 10:30, trying to make up that time. 97 overs will be bowled tomorrow. If possible, we'll be on air half an hour before that.